First one I got, which was the first of the line plushie with no butt tag, has PVC vinyl that is kind of toxic because the chemicals used. And I would cuddle them every night, still do. But I keep on getting sicker with them, so I made the drastic measure of undoing the sewing along his framing and removing the plastic, which was a bit difficult.
As you guys could see from the original title, it was originally titled Proof of Child Labor in SMG4/glitch merch.
I'm not trying to instantly like discredit everything, but it's like this document has kind of like made some points that kind of like low-key are just insane.
So this is the horrible evil glitch drama, guys.
Is this like as in glitch, like digital circus glitch?
Yes.
I'm surprised it took them like years to get, you know, a controversy like this. I feel like, you know, I would have heard something sooner, but yeah, sure.
I'd be interested to see where it even comes from, because like I swear to God, if this is something like, oh yeah, they started off by like as kids and they worked with kids, I'm gonna be so annoyed.
Thinking about collecting examples of bad quality and damaged merch shipped by Glitch or merch that never arrived. I'll add hosts to this thread as I find them. Feel free to add your stories.
Somebody responds,
Not just Glitch, SMG4 store too. I got 2 lanky Mr. Puzzles plushies from them. Both have problems I'll make in a thread here. The first one I got, which was the first of the line plushie with no butt tag, has PVC vinyl that is kind of toxic because the chemicals used. And I would cuddle them every night, still do. But I keep on getting sicker with them, so I made the drastic measure of undoing the sewing along his framing and removing the plastic, which was a bit difficult. I did this with both plushies.
Okay.
The next problem I noticed is his support for his head on the inside is a round, poorly sewn felt tube, tightly stuffed with stuffing. Mind you, it's already got this plushie fabric and stuffing around that, so when I wash him, it would take a day or longer to dry it all the way, and it would start glowing mildew inside of him. The second plushie I got was significantly lower in quality and different feeling entirely, even if his sewing was done unevenly. And they used child labor to make these plushies just by looking by certain sewing lines left behind. What?
What?
That's the
See
evidence?
the blood of the child. Like, what the fuck is this, man? I was expecting something like they opened up the plush toy and there was a vial of mercury inside. It's like, bro. Like, again, it's not a good thing, right? Like, you really shocked that, like, this kind of, like, company's product for their plushes and stuff like that is good? Like, have you seen, like, YouTube's plushes and stuff like that? Because I got one, like,
They're shit.
from a friend, right, years ago. It took ages to show up, and it's just really, it's just for display half the time.
Right.
You know, there's just something kind of like so poetic for me to see someone say that this was made with child, you know, labor while they're like typing on their phone or computer.
Like, so insane. I don't know, there's something comedic about just like, I would cuddle up to this thing every night, and now it has mildew on it. Maybe it's you. I don't know, man.
Maybe you've been
What have
coming
you been
on it
doing
too
to
much,
this
man.
plush?
Yeah.
It stands up on its own, it's all rigid. It's like
So someone says, just for clarification, do you have any telltale signs or proof indicating it's child labor? Would be extremely important information if true.
I have a document I quickly compiled on this topic and would go, so I wouldn't go nuts and hear the comments spamming.
Hi, while I do appreciate the document still, I have removed it from the thread as it's not solid proof, just merely theorizing. I saw people go and accept it as fact despite the disclaimers, which is muddying the waters when it comes to actual allegations.
Okay. They aren't really transparent with their documents or their products and how they source them at all, except for stating they manufacture them in China. I made sure to provide all the sources of the document regardless.
Question: are we gonna really sit here and assume that this person like doesn't own Nike shoes?
Apple products, Nike shoes.
Anything. Again, not a good thing, right? Child labor, boo. But
Yes.
it's everywhere. You can't stop it, bro.
Yes,
Like,
and this all
unless you're,
started
like,
with people just saying the glitch products themselves are like bad quality or damaged, okay? Which, like, sure.
Again, that's a fair quality, like, thing to critique. You can critique there's, oh my god, it's almost like there's like a toy collection, like, niche and stuff like that on YouTube. Live.
So, as you could see...
You can critique a toy, you can critique anything, but...
Right,
it's insane.
As you guys could see, from the original title, it was originally titled Proof of Child Labor in SMG4/glitch merch. It has been retitled to Suspicion of Child Labor.
It's just vibes, man.
I would like to preface that this is not a direct accusation, it was, and then you changed it, but more of a suspicion of child labor. That being said, take this as you will, how you may, etc. I have added sources too.
Stupid.
Sorry for those who read this and don't get my sources. My fault entirely, and I'm using a different search engine and will leak my sources directly. So to begin, I'm gonna start off with the first plushie I ordered back in November of 2024. The first Lanky plush I got. It was almost 2 months for him to arrive. He arrived in December with some defaults shown.
He had no butt tag, which at the time I found a little off. He had no cleaning instructions, nothing for care. On top of that, he had a smell I could smell.
Really? The smell? You could smell the smell? That's cool.
I personally have a really sensitive nose, and unfortunately super sensitive taste
What?
Why were you licking
What?
it?
What?
So, when I took out the
Making out
first
like
one,
Flush.
I had to clean him the best way my cosplayer mind could think of. Lick him. No. Hand wash him like one of my beloved wigs. This became an obsessive habit later. In these photos I'm about to present, here are signs of child labor and my experience with him and the new plush I got 1 year later. First off, the buckles. They were only sewn by hand with a single piece of threading, which made them fall off in my hand when I was playing Gmod one night with my original. I'll call this a little wardrobe malfunction.
Thank you, Bug Spray, for subscribing.
I fixed it preemptively on my new one.
I'm just. They say this. I was half expecting to see like tiny little in the stitches. It just says "help me."
Yeah, please help, I am a child. Yeah. Like,
I haven't
okay.
seen my family in years.
Then we have,
Second thing, only on my newer one, was the absolute smell he had. He still kinda has the smell, but he smelled terrible out of the package. It was dust and earthy with a little bit of heavy chemicals. I haven't washed the new one since he's stored away for now. The quality of the two are majorly different from each other too. Lower quality on my second one.
that actually would be an indication of not having child labor, because usually, like, in a situation like that, they are very, very consistent, because they have to be, or they will be, like, killed, okay? But anyways...
Of heavy chemicals. Do you know what heavy chemicals smells like? Again, like, it's fresh out of the packaging, it's gonna smell like, you know, it's just been manufactured. I don't fucking know, man. It feels really weird.
Right.
I had to open him by his seams and add stuffing I salvaged from my old plushies to fill him. Not much as my old one, but this new one needed a ton of stuffing and still needs more.
Derail.
Thank you for the 5, we'll get to it after this.
Now the next thing is his sewing.
Look at those
Oh, it's
fingers.
misaligned,
Those are some
okay.
dirty-ass fingers. Okay.
The stitching's misaligned in points, I guess, but okay, yeah.
I mean, what? Couldn't you just say that this was
No,
like, you
man.
know, fails in like the manufacturing thing, like a lazy worker? Like, why are we?
Yeah, to
like,
go
no.
instantly
How
to
much
child
these
labor
cost?
is
Like,
ridiculous.
why is this person immediately thinking of kids when they look at this plushie? Like, it's really odd.
Fraying or poor embroidery. Don't mind the modifications on the new one. The embroidery is actively fraying in spots. Antennas being a little different. The first one had fuzzy antennas. Face frame
These
being
aren't
odd and
expensive.
crinkled in spots because of poor sewing.
Okay.
With your
These aren't
fingernails off.
expensive.
Is that dandruff?
Yeah, it looks like it. Clip your
Aw.
fingernails and take a shower, buddy. Okay.
I'm looking at their site, right? Do you want to guess like how much like the majority of their plushes cost?
$20, $30, 30. I'm going for the 30.
Yeah, it's like 23 British pounds. They're
That's
not
pretty-
expensive. You're not
Pretty
gonna get
cheap for a
those high-
plushie. That's pretty.
You're not gonna get, you know. High
That's pretty
quality.
cheap for a plush. I see a lot of people like Oni Place plushes are
Yeah.
like $50 American.
Yeah.
So,
Obviously
like-
the quality is going to reflect the price.
Correct.
My old plush in the second pick is held together by 3 loops on the back head wire and can bust easily if I pull the hair too hard, and the one in the first one is sewn together slightly better but thinner string.
Okay.
I opened up the back. I gotta fix the back again, I know. To fill in how to fix how horribly uneven the lining was. One side was at least a few centimeters higher than the other one, so mods were made to patch it. Now, I did a few Google searches. These are also some telltale signs too.
Telltale signs of
AI
child labor and
summary.
plush toy production are rarely visible
shut
in the
the
toy
Google
itself.
this.
Instead, indicators
Yeah,
stem from the
summary.
manufacturer's operational practices and the broader supply chain. Primary red flags include ultra-low, suspiciously cheap retail prices, lacking supply chain transparency, and an absence of ethical trade certifications.
What I want to say here. Now, let's read that first line again, after noticing everything that's been said about the plush. Telltale signs of child labor in plush toy productions are rarely visible on the toy itself. So again, this is reflective of what I said, where these things are mass-produced, and mass production rarely results in having differences in between 2 plushes. Okay?
Yeah. You would need
So-
to look at the actual supply chain, like it's saying here. You would need to like actually do reporting. You'd need to go into one of these factories and look at
And then it doubles down, citing this Guardian article. While physical defects, e.g. loose eyes, irregular stitching, or brittle plastic, point to poor quality control and illegal knockoffs rather than direct child labor, a high number of unverified toys on the market indicate outsourced, unregulated shadow manufacturing, which is not what's happening here, so it doesn't even matter. Top indicators of unethical manufacturing, lack of certifications, supply chain opacity, counterfeit products. Okay. What else? Reputable manufacturers are open about where their toys are made. Okay, verify the tracking label, which it didn't come with, so I guess it's so scary and horrible or something. Yeah, there should be a permanent tracking label. Be cautious of unregulated imports. So because of an error, this thing didn't come with a tag, and they're assuming that it's child labor is what this is. Okay, great.
Take all this into thought. This is something I compiled really fast so I could say my piece on this.
Dirty ass fingernails.
Think about this.
Other information I found out is they manufacture their plushies and merch in China, specifically in Dongguan. Final Project is the manufacturing company in charge of designing, location, and other things and making and shipping out the merch.
Dirty ass fingernails. The world's factory scale. Dongguan is a massive manufacturing hub producing a significant percentage of the world's electronics, toys, and textiles. The immense concentration of factories creates high seasonal demand for low-cost labor. Exploitation via loopholes, high-profile violations. We get it. Oh my god, what the fuck is it? Okay.
The packaging I got on every merch piece all didn't have an address from the place it came from, but it had my name and address. Yawen is the shipping place that didn't even give me the information or live tracking at all, like Amazon, for example, so I can see where it came from. I've ordered from Wish, Temu, etc., and it all had better tracking than SMG4 ever had in my 2 years from buying from them. I bought the Wattfly keychain that has Mr. Puzzle's logo on it, and 2 Lanky plushies, all the same process. Mind you, these came to me either late in the evening or the middle of the night for some weird reason too. By law, they should have an inspection label as well, which absolutely didn't at all, so no inspection was done. Another note, I checked out the sources like a mad hen and made sure of the credibility. I'm in no way saying not stop buying from them. I'm only pointing out some of the shady stuff I took extreme notice of. Here are the sources.
So, no, you were saying that it was child labor. So, okay.
I didn't even show any of the packaging or anything. What's the chances that there was a slip of paper showing any of the things that they said there?
Right,
and
they missed it because they're retarded.
Right.
I wouldn't trust anything Glitch says at this point, but I added the link to their FAQ anyways. These are all the sources given by Google Overview. From here on out, Overview is no longer used, and every little thing is me and me alone with a different search engine. I'm sorry for this. Now, I've found my packaging, which all my packaging shows is where it was shipped from, and that is by law required. However, mine has not got that. They made it as vague as possible on my packaging. I'm not entirely sure if they give anyone a return address or anything. Probably not, considering they have apparel, and I'm not sure if they're required to have a return. I'm going to research my package numbers and hopefully return with more info. Again, everyone reading, I'm sorry for not adding sources. As far as addresses from their facility goes, on my tracking numbers I got, it never said anything about where it came from, like many of the other packages. Mind you, I'm a cosplayer, so I do have some experience with ordering online. There's nothing on the packaging. The only thing it says is return merchant, and of course, the info of tracking I provided. Obviously, it won't show nothing because it's their super temporary tracking number. In the Yanwen site, using the number provided, there's nothing given at the very beginning to show where it was shipped from. Let me go ahead and make y'all smile real quick on something. My autism makes me point out cooler, cute stuff. I like how the keychain on my packaging says creative keychain, like creative control, or Mr. Puzzle's creative vision. Back on the subject, this is all speculation, not accusation or saying they do.
Suspicion of child labor in SMG4/glitch merch.
Right.
Okay.
My mom had her suspicion too on this because of the stitching, most of which I had to fix or readjust myself. Once more on the big lettering, this is only suspicion, not accusation. This is for the people to think about and perceive how they like. I'm in no way saying you can't buy from them. By all means, live your life how you live your life. Just keep in mind, we don't know their making process or anything that could be going overseas we don't know about. For now, that's all I got as far as this goes. I'm keeping certain info like my order numbers private and all that because that's just general internet safety. Until I have more info, I'll be leaving this as of now and add more or let others add what they want. Toodles for now.
I would just go point out something really funny. They were complaining about like how long it took for the item to deliver, even though they have in this document admit the fact that this is manufactured in China, but I think left out the fact it is shipped from China. Yes, it's going to take several months for international shipping to take effect. Are you kidding me?
Yes.
What are you talking about? It's moronic.
So then, in I supposedly more serious allegations, a detailed review from a former SMG4 writer on his time at Glitch contains allegations of Kevin bullying employees, plagiarism, and most damningly, underpayment and stealing pay from employees, as well as illegal contracts. Let's check it out. My experience working at Glitch Productions. This was made on June 15th, 2026. Hi all, I'm Cullen Rogers. I'm a writer with about a year of professional work, 8 years of online published works, and almost 14 years now of creative writing theory. I wrote for SMG4, a parody series created by Glitch Productions, an independent animation company based out of Australia. After leaving my thoughts at the door with my arc leftovers and writing credits 3 years back, watching the next few years of Glitch's wins and mishaps left me wanting to share how my experience working for the company went. In 2022, I had quit my job after a 3-year incumbency, becoming the 3rd highest seniority at it, having no opportunity to progress or get a raise in it, and hosting the most stress in day-to-day operations. I didn't have any job prospects, was broke, and was living out of my sister's apartment on the floor with a duffel bag and 4 boxes of memories to my name. I was initially hired to work at Glitch Productions after directly messaging Kevin Lordwichakagel, the CEO of the company, on LinkedIn and asking if he still needed a writer for SMG4. As I had no pro writing credits, he sent me a test script to see my skills, and then a second one after that. He then hired me on the spot and said my first day would be in August of 2022. Generally speaking, Glitch is an impressive company. Their goal is to make great indie animations, and they fulfilled that by making such eye candy as Meta Runner, Murder Drones, and the amazing digital Circus. On top of that, after mastering 3D animation, they're now branching into 2D as well with Knights of Guinevere and Gameverse. Residence or race or gender doesn't matter with the company, as long as you do well and work hard. Remote work was possible, and the means by which I worked for them. We had all manner of people from all around the world working on various shows, from Canada to the US to Italy and to Australia, of course. The showrunners and talent supported their visions, are still incredible, and their dedication to the craft is beyond impressive. First,
it's a lot of glaze for an abuse allegation.
well, you gotta assume that there's gonna be a but, right? But
Yeah.
we'll see. I mean, we'll see. I'm just trying not to, clip jump.
Yeah.
Is this Lum Runner document on Glitch? It was on Glitch and SMG4. We already covered that one though. This is different. This is workplace abuse allegations. First coming onto the team, Kevin introduced me personally to the company in our first hands-on meeting. However, for the majority of my employment, I only spoke with 2 others for any prolonged time outside of job stuff, Cube and James, the head coordinator and a voice actor/editor respectively. They were pretty chill, and Cube even defended me when I first started writing since fans attributed things they didn't like to the new writer, me. Working for Glitch, there was a crippling isolation. Anyone who had worked the graveyard shift, the 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. of security, janitorial, hotel, or similar will get what I mean. Okay, so right off the bat, you're a remote worker. That comes with the territory, bud. So if that's hard for you, you should get another job, first of all. But, okay. Pair this isolation with the remote work social bubbles and 8 or more hour days. Where I live, my day almost ended when Australia's day began. So I had to shift my entire sleep schedule and availability in order to match these times, meaning I couldn't socialize with anyone closer to home, or had to really restrict this time. Minimal interaction with friends and family, and everyone at Glitch was often busy with work, so I spent a lot of time alone. Was there any, forced reason that you had to work around those hours? Couldn't you just get your assignments and then do them, the day before? Work around it that way? Did you ever ask to do that? Whatever. Communication between departments left a lot to be desired. It used to be that I would write a script or part of one based on writer's room talk, and then I would send that to Kevin. After that, Kevin would talk with Luke, his brother, the CCO, and director of SMG4, who would then craft the episode with the editors. I would have to communicate changes for episode through Q, who would then tell Luke. I only had direct comms with Luke when writing Mario Does Things, later rebranded to SMG4 Crew, because he had full creative control over the spinoff, and I'd write directly under him. I was given my first red flag about Glitch about 3 months into working for them. That I was the longest lasting new writer for SMG4. Okay. This is the first thing that I've seen that actually isn't looking great. Okay. But we'll see. Another red flag was that there was no creation pipeline for SMG4. The closest we had was a document describing how to upload files correctly for management to review. No documentation of what or what not to write, no guides for keeping in line with company writing standards, no lore keeping, no character bibles, no storyboard guides, there was nothing. I mean, isn't all of this stuff that you could talk to your management about? Or extra work that you could do, like the storyboard guides or character bibles? But okay. The pipeline existed only in Kevin and Luke's minds, which made the pipeline well guarded, but made contractors' job harder. Going above and beyond for some script was not encouraged. When an idea or scene was too specific to find an external reference on how it should look, I would replicate my idea in Gary's Mod or Source Filmmaker for the editors to have a better grasp, essentially storyboarding some ideas for episodes. I had to do that for Mario Bakes a Cake, where I suggested that we put a green disc in a cake pan to chroma key in a funny meme. as well as a few more for advertisement skits and Mario Does Things. Kevin told me it was a waste of time and asked me not to do it. I mean, yeah, you're a writer.
Yeah,
That's beyond your job description.
and I'm not gonna lie, like, as bad as it sounds for like the longest lasting writer, this is SMG4, right? Like, have you ever seen an SMG4 video before, Himpleton?
No.
I just want you to pull up a video of SMG4 to really get the vibe of like why I'm about to say this, because I'm gonna say, if you are an aspiring writer, right? Sure, getting your name out there is something, right? But just pull up an average SMG4 video, okay? Now, I want you, go in the channel, just maybe even look at most popular, right? Because yes,
is this?
these are Gmod videos, but just
Is
pull
this
up the most
Glitch?
popular. No, this is SMG4, but this is what they're talking about writing for. Now,
So, but they said they were working for Glitch. So does Glitch own
yes,
this?
Glitch. No, they own Glitch. So this is a Gmod project that the guy did before Glitch. Tell me, just watch a little bit of this, and if you would you want to keep your writing career stagnant in this one place? Is what I would say.
That was a lots of fun. Hey, I'm thirsty. Oh no!
I mean, my God, the brilliant writing of "I'm a thirsty," and then he goes to the fridge, chills.
I'm kind of choked up.
I now know what I have to do.
Yeah, aren't you?
No, I think you get my point here.
Honestly, I'm
Would you-
more like
Holy
impressed
God.
that they hired writers for this.
This is beautiful.
Yeah. So
The Odyssey
obviously,
has nothing on this, man. What the fuck?
yeah. So yeah, Glitch is obviously a project that they took more seriously, but SMG4 was something that he started at first and did for a decade. He actually started it when he was like, I think, a kid or whatever. And
Wait,
just
the
kinda-
insanity! The insanity! Looking back at that line of there are no character Bibles. Are we fucking
Yeah.
kidding me?
So yeah, that's why I kind of like wanted you to get a little bit of a vibe of the actual content that we're talking about here. Now, granted, I will be the first to admit this was like my childhood. That's why I know about this, right? I watched a lot of this shit in middle school. I was a fucking retarded teenager, but I'm never gonna pretend that this was like, you know, some masterpiece like Great Gatsby writing. Okay, like, but yeah. So when I hear the line of red flag that I was like one of the only writers that stayed on for longer than 3 months. Is it really that much of a shock, Impleton?
No.
I will say, if there's any doubt, by the way, of this guy having not worked on this, SMG4, he does have an IMDb, and it does seem to check out that he worked for them. In case there was any doubt.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I was really curious. I was like, this could be anyone saying this shit.
Going above and beyond for going above and beyond stuff, sure. From what I've heard, other writers like StarTease started doing actual storyboarding and made it a standard for the show until it ended. Longest lasting writer, deterred innovation, no pipeline. I should have acted on those red flags sooner by quitting. However, Glitch was becoming a more prominent name in the independent animation. I desperately wanted to get my own serial greenlit, which is now my new web novel, Lavender Chronicle. As Glitch needed a writer, I aim to gain experience in the industry and work my way to running my own show over time. Kevin told me in the first few months if I do good work, I would be the showrunner in 2 to 3 years. That promise was enough to keep me invested. Unfortunately, Kevin was not as invested in the idea. A month before I quit, I reneged on that promise. He reneged on that promise and claimed that he didn't say anything like that to me. Okay, that's shitty. When getting scripts approved, they needed to go through quality assurance processes, like any other animation company or burger joint, to ensure the written word matches company values and intent. When working on the Mario Does Things episode, Mario plays educational games until he gains 1 IQ, Luke made me revise the entire script 5 times without clear reason why. My final rewrite had the script flow flawlessly between the games with high-level writing and very clever humor, matching what the quality assurance notes that I was given perfectly. Hold on. Hold on.
Dude. Okay. And also, I just want you to know, right, Himpleton? What we watched, right, is what they originally did. That's a far cry from like the quality of like even something like Digital Circus. They clearly had like way higher standards when transferring over there because it was a passion project. They're trying to actually be a successful company, right? They're not just going to take any third party's ideas right off the gate. So it's like, I don't know. Maybe I'm being a dick, but it's like it sounds
Well, if you make a promise like that to somebody and then you just like
I'll give
act
you an
like you never did
example.
it, that's shit.
No, I could agree. I could agree that that's, you know, a dickish thing to do. But when they reference that, it makes it seem like they're scorned that they didn't get their little third-party project
Sorry.
platformed on this
I
successful
can give
company.
you, I can give
Okay,
you an
well,
example
can you-
of one of the episodes they worked on.
Well, guys, Well, that's what I'm doing right now. So let's
Oh,
freaking
okay,
pipe
that's
down
the
so we
one.
can see the amazing, flawless flow between games with high-level writing and very clever humor. Let's see.
Okay.
Mario! Oh no! Let's go!
Dude.
It's just like some South Park would cover. Like
South Park
brain
is actually clever, so I disagree with that.
make
You know-
fun of is what I mean.
You know, and I wouldn't even be like shitting on doing work for this. That's cool. It's just I don't know why we're pretending like this is like some complex,
not-
insane literature.
Let's just
it's
not like
team fucking
let's just
characters, man.
well let's
Calm
not
down.
let's not be pretentious about it and say this is like, you know, again
Yeah.
I'm gonna quote it one more time. Okay, let me find it. Script that flows flawlessly between the games with high level writing and very clever humor.
That sounds like an AI sentence. I'm not gonna lie.
Stinky.
Hello, Stinky. Very clever humor.
Get set, go!
Yo! Mario, what the f?
This is pretty tough.
I did it.
Easy, how you try?
Dude.
Okay, so yeah.
I still would
Okay.
have watched that in middle school, but like I'm not gonna pretend that that's like insane
Flawless
literature.
flowing with high level writing and very
Feel
clever
empty
humor.
inside. I feel like dead inside. Like I feel like a rotting corpse.
Oh, okay, wait, hold on. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, I clip chimped. I may have clip chimped. Hold on. Luke had stricken through every line I submitted and gave even more clear feedback in response. I would later discover that Aaron Rodgers, the other writer for Mario Does Things, had already written and edited together 8 minutes of runtime on a single game. I was never informed of this, and Luke's notes never said to condense my work to fit the remaining 3 minutes allotted while still covering the other 2 games, which is unfair to me and my efforts. So he still was a part of it, okay, just not the whole video. Sure. Even so, I highly doubt that we would see incredible, clever
Yeah,
humor.
dude, can you imagine? Can you imagine? It's like in the middle of it. It's just like fucking heavenly. It's like Mario. How could you ever do something like that? It's like,
Physiological debate. Like
Mario,
inside.
this reminds
so
me.
profound.
This sort of reminds me of the injustices of capitalist society, Mario. Yeah.
Yeah, this kind of reminds me of the philosophy of like replacing every part of an old boat with new material. Is it still the same boat?
Speaking of, Aaron Rodgers is plagiarist. He's a longtime writer for SMG4 and a longtime friend of Luke's, having been tied to SMG4 since the early days of Machinima. However, he's plagiarized things from me multiple times at my tendency and glitch. When writing
a
Mario
huge
Does
allegation.
Things, we would write mini scripts for for each character's reaction with a gag to tie them together. I don't know why he did it, but Aaron plagiarized one of my skits in Mario delves into anti-piracy screens, and 2 in Mario reacts to Mario Nintendo movie memes. And if the documents for these episodes still exist, it does have a trackable history for edits, so it can be proven at least. Technically, he also took credit for my last few episodes that I wasn't credited for, including Mario plays educational games until he gains 1 IQ.
Or just
He took several of my ideas and rewrote them to match his style better. Also, what do you mean if they still exist? Do you not have access to any of it? But whatever, sure.
Yeah, that's kind of a hefty claim.
Yeah.
Fucking Aaron of all people to also say that he plagiarized you, like that's a big name too.
I never brought this issue about Aaron forward because we had no HR. Aaron's rapport and history with the company would shed a bad light on me for speaking poorly about him, and we had deadlines to meet, and so I figured letting Aaron get away with it once or twice would serve the greater good. Now I recognize my inaction only sets a bad precedent for him to plagiarize more, but that it's okay because he wasn't caught and reprimanded for it. I understand the scope of this problem too, and that's that it's 1 or 2 skits in the Funny Blue Mario internet show. I get that. That said, it's hard, paid work that I put genuine effort into that I now can't reference on my resume because his styles is not mine, and glitch management will side with Aaron. The SMG4 series is not something I own, nor do I own the work I did on it, but I wrote for the show and I deserve to be recognized for what I did, what I worked on, as is the moral standard. Ace, do you want to read these next 2 paragraphs? I need a fucking break,
I did.
dude.
I
This
did
is,
check
like,
by the
tiring.
way. I did
Yeah,
check.
yeah.
Yeah, he's not credited on the 1 IQ video.
Well,
It
it,
is
just
Aaron
comes.
Rod-
It just also has to come down to like proving if he actually did have anything.
Yeah,
to do
but
with
here's
it.
the thing. This is just claims. I'd have to have a look.
But I'm gonna read this real quick. It's also strange how Kevin's ideas for the "It's Gotta Be Perfect" IGBP SMG4 short film overlap a lot with my Meme Lords mini arc idea. I mean, I could say that I shared the initial idea in October 2022 during a writer's room while Kevin was thinking of making an SMG4 movie, and sent a pitch directly to him in December 2022. I could say that IGBP didn't start ideation until January 2023 and production in February. In production in February 2023, I could say I was taken off the script writing team for the film, and Kevin handled the entirety of the script. I could say it was an unusual decision, especially with how much extra he made me write for War of the Fat Italians 2022. Those are always retarded, by the way. A few months prior, I could say my mini arc featured an SMG4 focused character arc, strange creatures and eldritch sauces with connections to mimetic energy. An IGBP featured an SMG4 focused character arc. Oh wait, did he say it again? Yeah, he did. What the fuck? Character arc why he don't? Okay. With connections to mimetic energy. The TV tropes pages of SMG4's What Could Have Happened outlines a lot more of these parallels. All I could say is that there's a lot of coincidences. I feel terrible that there is no attribution to the people who made SMG4 a reality over the past decade. Kevin and Luke have taken and used content that doesn't belong to them in order to profit, from Gary's mods maps to models, mods, and emulation engines. What? Are we really going... Really?
Yeah.
Are we really going to... Dude, no, because this is so fucking stupid. That's like getting on every TF2 creator for using, like, SFM.
Right.
It's like, yeah, dude, how dare you use the fucking likeness of these characters for these awesome fan edits? Like, fuck off, dude. But no, or effects that are open source. No source filmmaker, yep, assets are credited either. Why would they be? None of people modding and add-ons on Gary's mod for source filmmaker have been repped for Glitch's use of their creation. And while the accreditation is optional, it's it's morally appropriate. I've seen Medi, another editor of the show, and Aaron also frequently use and steal assets and jokes from other people. They're perfectly happy to take a Friday Night Funkin' custom animation and use it for the show while giving no credit, or rework my skit reference a Dubis Goovis video into just stealing the whole joke. But as soon as they're caught, they absolve the blame and put it onto Luke to deal with. I honestly didn't feel comfortable contributing to the abuse and convenience. To this abuse of convenience while working for them. And for everyone I did not credit while working under them, I am sorry. Dude, no one's gonna, I'm sure you guys saw from the clips, the amount of meme sound effects that they use. Are we really gonna, credit every fucking meme that was used?
Credit to credit to Markiplier for saying, oh my god, at that one part, by the way.
Yeah, dude. This is just such a weird fucking weak point in my opinion. It's like, they fucking use Gmod like they're stealing shit. Dude. But yeah, no. Want me to keep going?
Up to you. We can switch too.
Okay. When I was first hired, I was a month away from starting a new bachelor's degree for fine arts. After 2 or 3 months with the company, Kevin tried coaxing me out of college frequently. Do you have messages for this? Saying things like, college is a waste of time. Dude.
What? Proof?
And why waste money on college when we could use you here and now?
Proof?
He ordered full-time work and enhanced pay, which was still less than 50% lower than what I should have been making according to minimum industry standards. Well, you're also working for a third-party YouTube group, right? We're not talking... It's easy to look at Kevin and Luke as, business work, company owners and businessmen now, but, SMG4 was really not that big. It got to 1 million subscribers eventually, but it took 10 to 15 years to really get there.
Right.
It was definitely a small group. But yeah, even offering me a gracious advance to cover costs for moving out of college. I agreed to full-time in January 2023, quitting college to focus on work. How much of that is on them and how much of that is on you? I don't know. Maybe I'm being a dick, but it's I don't know. I
don't think so.
And you did remote work. Couldn't you have just multitasked?
One would assume.
I don't know, man. I'm not trying to instantly discredit everything, but it's this document has kind of made some points that kind of low key are just insane.
Right.
But sure, let's. Within the first week of this arrangement, Kevin made a status quo change, full of platitudes for the whole company. He had said something about Glitch entering a new era, and that we had to improve every show. The changes he wanted were unclear and not constructively communicated, at least for the SMG4 side of the company. No new pipeline, scripts took longer to complete and were critiqued down to a fault, and the writers' rooms had doubled in population with clear leaders of conversation and people not directly working on the show contributing. Kevin would copy 3 whole minutes portions of gags from The Simpsons. then judge me and tell me I had to be more creative when I put in jokes he didn't get. I suggested after SMG4 got his RV, we should have an episode where he and all his friends wholesomely trick it out like that bus in Disney's Recess, with the villain being Crisp Rat, who was hiding in the haunted toilet they installed. I was practically ignored, and Kevin with that happy little road trip episode, as suggested by Jasmine Yang, the VA coach of NQ, who only had dealings in SMG4 merch up to that point. Dude, it's a mystery. It's a fucking mystery why that idea was ignored. Like, what the fuck was that?
Oh, God. Okay. After writing the entire IGPP script alone, Kevin bragged to me about writing it while on a flight, linking me the script and asking for feedback. It wasn't very impressive, and the content wasn't very different than the norm of SMG4. It was written almost as a self-degradation fantasy, and I commented how it would better encapsulate some of these ideas and make them more nuanced. I also suggested SMG4 communicate some more rather than one-sidedly yell at the protagonists. That having a dialogue would make it far more interesting and better flesh out the motivations in the scene. I was candid, telling him what did and didn't work and how to fix it. I wanted to see it perform well, but his response was essentially, remember your focus is ideation and your own stuff. Since that critique, Kevin had become much more antagonistic towards me. This could be from other pressures and stressors in his life, but a lot of this antagonism was specifically aimed towards me. One time, I struggled to tell him about a 3-act story structure, a story structure I didn't use in my writing often. John Truby calls it flawed and mechanical. No, I don't care how you feel about it. And he rudely asked how much experience I actually had. He had also had questions about my history publishing content on my blog as well, as about 5 or 6 years of published research and stories hosted on another site was deleted because I impulsively deactivated my account. After criticizing him once, he made efforts to criticize my entire work history. I gave pushback from time to time when he overstepped, but he would pressure me in other ways afterwards. Kevin would regularly ask for input for me in the writers' rooms, then shoot down my ideas under the guise of them not being funny enough. He would audibly sigh and single me out, then embarrass me in front of my work colleagues. However, I thought you barely talked to anybody. Okay, but whatever. However, he would not respond in this way to anyone else in the writers' room who actively chose not to contribute. The writers' room for my roommate Mario, Kevin didn't have a joke for a scene and nobody else had one. He asked the room, alright, do we have anything funny to add or are we going to leave it to Colin? The idea that I was the least desired result genuinely hurt. No, if I heard something like that, I would not assume that, like, I'm, like, the least valuable. I would assume that, like, I'm kind of the go-to when it comes to funny stuff if nobody has something to add right now. But okay. Over my last month working with them, Kevin would frequently have meetings with me to talk about how my writing is getting worse and that I needed professional workshops and research on how to be funny, gaslighting me into losing a lot of confidence. Kevin was also dismissive about my, it sounds like instead of firing you, he said, you should do like a writing workshop, but whatever. Kevin was also very dismissive about my work in general after that critique. For example, before I quit, Kevin questioned my writing skill, bringing up the episode Mario's Ballin' with me in a meeting. The episode was originally my idea, and Kevin used it as an example of what to learn from since it underperformed. I took a lot of pride in that episode since I took the lead in writing almost all of it. It was my idea to include the finale with Ghetto Baller Mode Luigi. Okay. Alongside the action sequence. Kevin dismissed the episode as being a boring Dragon Ball Z reference and that my lack of skill led to the episode's lack of success in comparison to other SMG4 mainline videos. It's not easy to make something like that final scene with intense choreography and tension that all has to be synced with music. Chris, the most skilled editor and animator, did an amazing job crafting the scene. Har har har, you're just not funny. So true. You should always be improving your skill, especially if your boss tells you to. Yeah, I agree. Kevin's constant beratement, caused by his inability to articulate what he wanted from me, led to me being more and more exhausted and even afraid to work, knowing rewriting in my next script repeatedly would be the inevitable conclusion. Okay, then don't work there. But, okay. This is what makes having no tangible pipeline so dangerous. The standard for your work has no reference point in episode quality based on the whims of one who makes the final decision. My weakest area is in comedy, but I thrive in dramatic, emotional, and spectacle writing. You're on a fucking, like, shit-posty comedy show, so that's unfortunate, but whatever. And I have a penchant for action. I was not hired for my talents, nor did Kevin attempt to have me use them at any point. That said, actually you were because you did a sample script, but okay. That said, I believe that I improved a lot. While Kevin told me my writing was declining in quality after coming on full-time, friends and family saw my work and thought I was outgrowing my position instead. While I think my comedy skills are not phenomenal, I review some of my work and compare it to older episodes and see what they mean. I would spend so much time researching memes and figuring out when they'd be popular to beat the upload delay of the SMG4 episodes. The gritty dance from Fortnite would be popular in 2 weeks' time, and it would have a long shelf life. So I wanted to use it for a gag in Martin Day, Mario 10th anniversary.
Actually, hold on, that is a good point. Honestly, with how they wrote the stock, I wonder if they really are a professional writer. I mean, I just want to remind everyone, they typed the same thing twice in a row.
I'm pretty sure they also said that prior to this, they did have no professional work below them. So
I mean, I feel like this doc is kind of telling of their skill.
When I suggested using it in an episode, Kevin told me, paraphrased, "I've never heard of the gritty, and Luke and Jasmine have no idea either. Come up with something better." I was off by a week of my estimate, but the meme was popular. I kid you not, Kevin started following the trend a few episodes later, but that could have been leading the trend if he had trusted me. Maybe you should have said something about it, to him afterwards then, hey, next time trust me. Whatever. I'm sensing a lack of communication from both sides here.
Yeah.
I worked a lot to make up for the shortcomings Kevin had gaslit me into believing. I spent almost 16 hours a day working on them myself and my scripts, rewriting many times before submission. Even then, I would have to rewrite more after Kevin's QA notes. I was originally paid per page, not including rewrites, and after going full-time, I was still paid a fixed amount bi-weekly, still about 25% less than I should have been based on minimum industry standards, still not accounting for rewrites. Alright, name those numbers then. Give me the numbers. Let's see them. This implies you already have a clear understanding of the numbers, about 25% less than I should have been. So say the numbers. Give it to us. Let's hear it. Anyways, still not accounting for rewrites. My quality of health deteriorated rapidly to the point where I was having panic attacks daily, and I was sedentary for most of my waking hours. I had no time to cook, exercise, socialize with family and friends, or engage with media that I love between the theory, practice, and fear of disappointing coworkers, managers, fans, and myself with low-quality content. I didn't technically quit my job, as the company tried to coerce me into signing an illegal contract. Doing so invalidated my contract, recognized as such by Glitch Management. Kevin bullied me into the breaking point and wanted me to work for more hours for less pay, in addition to continued toxic workplace conditions, such as what? Okay. This predatory action by an employer is called constructive dismissal, in which someone forces inopportune or toxic work expectations on or otherwise intimidates an actual or perceived underperforming employee in order to coerce them into quitting. This tactic makes the decision to leave the company and the employers and not the employees and not the management. By the Fair Work Act, constructive dismissal is illegal in both Canada, my home, and in Australia, Glitch's headquarters, as they breach the workers' rights and deny them rights and severance and compensations. In simpler terms, Kevin wanted to fire me but didn't want me to be paid fairly, so he tried to force me into resigning instead. That's not the end of it. In addition to the illegal practice of constructive dismissal, Glitch also siphoned a portion of each of my paychecks in order to cover transfer and exchange rate fees, a practice Jasmine normalized despite it being absent from the contract. These fees should always be covered by the employer when it comes to remote work, and yet I lost 80 AOD off of each paycheck, translating to 110 Canadian dollars after each paycheck. In simpler terms, they stole hundreds of dollars from me to cover their business expenses. Over my time spent with them, Glitch has siphoned over 1,700 Canadian dollars from my paychecks. Is it difficult for you to show proof for this? Because this should be such an easy one. I don't know. There's clearly not an NDA because you're talking about this. So if that's the case, you can show the contract and just not show, personal details and stuff like that. Show that there's nothing on there. Show, redacted checks where it shows that, a certain amount of money was missing versus the amount of money you made. This is all very easy to prove, or should be, but okay. I'm not really looking for an apology or anything from Kevin, Aaron, or Glitch as a whole. Well, you've accused them of some pretty crazy stuff, so I guess you're just looking for them to get in trouble, but whatever. I have seen his apology letter on Twitter to all the staff he's wronged at the height of Celeste's termination, and I genuinely do not trust a word of it. Kevin wrote that letter only after getting doxxed by an extremist fan when all former staff came forward about his management, which gave the sentiment that he wrote the apology for placating fans and not for the affected staff. I used to want to take revenge on the guy, which it seems to be you're doing that right now, but okay.
No, wait. So, you know how chopped that is again? Because they brought up the fact that their work was not going to be approved onto Glitch, and now they're talking about wanting to take revenge.
Which is seemingly what this is, but
dude, yeah, that's kind of cooked. I'm not gonna lie.
So, but I don't really care how I was treated by them anymore. Seems like you do. You made this, but okay. Living well is the best revenge, and I'm doing great right now. Doesn't seem like it, but okay. I think I just feel righteous indignation, and that nobody else should be unfairly treated or bullied or screwed over by such awful management. That's an interesting line to say after you say you don't care, but okay. Speaking of getting screwed over, Celeste's termination was a tragedy. Celeste Notley Smith, former cornerstone of VA of Glitch Productions and voice of Terry in the first official series Meta Runner, was treated like nothing and forgotten about by Glitch's management. Knowing Celeste has still not been told the real reason why she got let go, at least as far as public knowledge, is upsetting. Glitch Productions keep getting accolades, support, and adoration, but one of the voices that gave Glitch their start was thrown away so easily. They've set a terrible precedent with their staff, as Celeste, myself, and Robin Barry Cotter spoke out on behalf of several anonymous former staff when Celeste came forward, will attest, where if Glitch is done with you, it's over. A lot of people have forgotten about what happened 3 years ago, but I remember how unfairly Celeste was treated. Learning from social media, she'd been fired. I may not know her personally, but I will always remember Celeste as one of the first, most important people in Glitch's history. Parasocial much? Kevin didn't stop his unfair working conditions with any of those folks who came forward on Glassdoor. He didn't even stop with the anonymous folks Robin bravely spoke on behalf of. He didn't stop with me. He didn't stop with Celeste. You wanna take a shot?
I'm just...
This is like killing me. This is just ridiculous, but...
So, I'm at the top paragraph, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was doing some Wordle. No, not Wordle, sorry. I was doing a thing on my phone. But yeah. I don't like to think that Glitch Productions is a beacon of independent animation. Glitch has great animation quality. That much is true. But we should be celebrating all walks of indie content, not just ones that could hit 10 million views of the pilot. If Glitch's intent is to give independent I don't like where this is going, creatives a voice and expand their influence, why the standardization of themes? It doesn't feel like Glitch is fairly taking on new projects when their last male protagonist debuted in 2011. Okay. Or when the stories, the company, and its showrunners tell all only inspired by the internet zeitgeist? Or when the last non-American creative who ran a pilot was back in 2019 with Meta Runner? What are these points? The reason why I said I don't like where this is going is because, again, I can only just hear them like seething by their project not being accepted.
Right.
But yeah, Glitch isn't even taking on... me! Yeah, exactly. Glitch isn't even taking on local talent for showrunners, only popular internet peeps. So how can they be a beacon of indie animation when they are
shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I'm so sick and tired of this. I can't remember if we had this discussion on stream before. Ace, define indie animation for me.
A third party. That's what I would quickly say.
Yes. It doesn't mean you're small. It doesn't mean you're niche. It doesn't mean any of that. It means you're a third party, independent
literally,
company.
Just expand the word.
For independent.
Independent. Yes. It becomes quickly obvious. Yeah.
It is not niche. Okay.
It's why things
it can be niche, it can overlap, but it's not that's not what it means. I hate this.
A square can be a rectangle, or a square is always a rectangle, but a rectangle isn't always a square. There you go. It's one of those kind of deals.
It's just an indie anymore because it's popular. It's like, fucker. Until they unless they get absorbed by a larger non-independent company, it's not. It won't be. It will still be indie. It pisses me off, man. How people just can't understand what words mean.
Yeah, I would still say that Toby Fox is an indie creator despite his huge success.
He's a one-man crew for a good portion of stuff. Sure, he hires people. I mean, he has Sebastian Wolf, or did at one point, obviously. But he's still independent.
But yeah, no, it's like
people say that as well. A bit of a tangent. I was gonna get an interview with Sebastian Wolf. And then the guy aired my emails. I made a quote retweet to the stuff where he pedo jacketed this person for a 1-year age gap, right? And I basically was just like, hey, if you'd like to have a chat about your takes on why you think that people should copyright strike content even if they the person who owns the content is fine with people using it. Have a talk with me. And then he DM'd me and was just like, hey, you wanna have if you want, you can just email me. And he never got back to my email. He ran from the debate. It's fucked up, man. But anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll continue. Don't worry.
I don't even know where you're
So,
at, so.
I got you. So how can they be a beacon of indie animation when they are outsourcing a majority of their IPs to the US and not representing a more genuine pool of creatives? No room for Chris Schwafer's Jump Cut or Rebel Taxi's Loki or Paul... I'm not even going to try to butcher that last name. Day Job or Crazy Boris Productions, Dungeon Dynamite or Macho Boys Analog. Well, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but even something like Day Job, I feel like that's reached like its own level of success, where it's like it doesn't even need Glitch's like assistance.
But they should be working with them.
Like, dude.
The only critique I really could have in terms of the whole like Glitch outsourcing stuff, right? It's not even the outsourcing. It was the weird trying to appeal to the US audience of prioritizing the US audience over the Australian audience, which is incredibly weird. I thought it was kind of weird considering they're an Australian studio, and when they were doing the screenings for the Digital Circus movie, they originally had no plans to have anything inside of Australia. But that's like quite unrelated to like.
They just,
I mean,
know,
but
they just
also
know where
like
their market is. Right?
Yeah, cater
like,
to your market.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I get
like,
that. I don't know. I kind of would be annoyed if it was like for example, a British film by like an indie British company, and for some reason there was no British showings for the film.
I would just be like, it's classic marketing. I don't know.
Yeah, British always fucks itself over. Yeah.
Even then, it's really weird how he's making this point about like outsourcing to the US. Meanwhile, he was praising SMT4 for outsourcing for their remote work for people in Australia, United States, Italy, Australia, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't understand why he's now looping back around to making a different, like a contradicting point.
It's just because his third-party project wasn't accepted by like Big Boy Kevin. That's honestly just how this looks.
Correct.
Yeah. But maybe I'm reading too much into it. Let's keep going. I want to make it clear that there are a lot of amazing people who work for the Glitch Productions. It's amazing to see people getting a chance to create their serial with Glitch and its resources. My experiences and feelings for a minority of the company's staff shouldn't deprecate these creatives' ideas and values to the art forms of animations and storytelling. After seeing a new indie platform Glitch every few months, I can't escape it anywhere I go on the internet. Okay, lol.
Okay, bro.
The pervasiveness reminds me of everything. I kept debating whether I would harm people's enjoyment of Glitch's animations, or if I should just keep it all bottled up so I don't instigate anything online. My current friends insisted I share my experience. Your friends fucking suck, dude.
Your friends hate you. Your friends hate you. Yeah.
Dude, no better than the people that are like, oh, dude, you're such a great singer. Go on America's Got Talent. And they're like,
with friends like these, who need enemies?
Yeah. Dude,
Very flamenco coded.
Yeah. Fuck. And wait, actually, notice how they said my current friends insisted. Do you think that...
Your old friends, on the other hand, were like, do not do this.
And then I abandoned them because they didn't believe in my dreams.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Imagine saying you're just like, I get it, right? Impressive. You worked on like something that is quite popular, right? But just going like, hey, do you want to see what like I worked on? I did like writing credits for this, and you show like Mario has 1 IQ. I don't know, man.
I know.
I don't know. It's not like the most incredible writing in the world, is it?
Oh, this is just gonna get better. And their input means a lot to me. I used to be scared to speak up since Glitch Productions is a company that's popular and has influence, kicks rock, but I keep forgetting that it's just a company. Plus, now that SMG4 has ended, I feel like I could talk a bit more about my history with the brothers and their company. I have received specific permissions from Kevin on what I can or can't share online about the show before leaving the company. I appreciate being given the chance to work at Glitch and learn how amazing it is to touch the hearts of other people with stories, but I'm disappointed that I'm filled with more negative memories of working there than positive ones. So my understanding is if you were like, I don't know, maybe I'm confused. If you were genuinely like just so like mogged from like working for SMG4, I guess why would you be ecstatic to work for their new project? I don't know. Like I
don't know.
There's got to be some agency that goes on the adult where it's like, oh yeah, these people fucking treated me horrible. Anyways, can I go to your next lead project?
Can't wait for tomorrow.
Like, what is this? What is wrong with you? Are you okay? Like, what is this?
Yeah, so...
Yeah, I despise all of you. I think you're all terrible people. Anyways, can't wait to see you tomorrow.
I can set the building on fire.
Yeah. Alright, so I think I've said all I wanted to say. I don't want this to be used as someone's fuel for talking shit about Glitch. Well,
Alright,
too late, buddy. But okay.
You know how the audience is.
The reason we found this is because it was in a tweet shitting on Glitch. I originally didn't want to make this a big long post, but then I remembered the more I added, I tried to keep the facts as serious as I could be because I would still love to embellish some of the things that I'm sorry. Am I retarded here? Yeah.
Add details to? Awesome.
I mean, I guess add details too, but some of the really messy stuff, like management leaking a personal NSFW playlist to me accidentally.
What the fuck?
What?
Mario getting the clown in the fucking playlist. What the fuck?
There's other stuff I could talk about, or there's other staff I could talk about and other events to discuss, but it's nitpicky at best. Then don't. If Kevin has become a lot more accountable and fair with the staff, I'd be hard-pressed to believe it, but that's the best result. I know if another Glitch employee contractor comes forward, there won't be any backlash. Are you retarded? Are you stupid? What are you talking about? Okay. There will be a bunch of people clamoring for moral brownie points on social media who will then forget about everything in 1 to 2 months' time. The unfairly treated staff will have their life upended and will look for work while the internet turns them into a temporary martyr. If fans get too rowdy, Glitch will do another blanket apology and everybody stops suddenly caring because it means that they don't have to hate the company that their hyperfixations come from. I mean, 9 or 10 staff came forward and we got a half-hearted letter and a promise that we can't keep progress of. The number will keep going only up and nothing will happen. All I know is that I don't want someone else to feel how I felt for wanting to pursue their dreams. Anyways, yeah, this was my experience at Glitch Productions. Thanks for reading. I'm not going to be interested in talking about this for a while. So take discourse to social media or something. I thought you just said that you don't want people... Okay. I have enough Glitch stuff on my website already.
Wait. They just acknowledge. They acknowledge exactly how people would react to this.
Yes, they did. So
I think he replies in the comments of this. I'm not too sure though. I have to check.
Oh,
he does at one point. If you keep going down, there are a lot of comments of different people. I left one just to be like, hey, do you want to talk? Let's hand on shoulder.
That's not funny.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's
hilarious.
I'm hilarious.
There you go.
who is this from? I don't know who the fuck this is. Oh, I took over your position? Oh, fuck.
Dude, this got really eerie after the music stopped.
Yeah. Left, you know.
What game does that even come from?
No, I'm not a human.
I've never played it before.
It's good. Hi, this is Sprout Posting. From what I understand, I'm the guy who took over your position as secondary writer after you left in 2023. Before I start, I want to preface this saying I've worked in corporate marketing for several years. I'm a public school teacher, so I've taken my fair share of verbal jabs that blows to my ego over the years. I have thick skin. Unfortunately, your post very much minors. Jesus Christ. What is wrong with me today? Jesus.
First the rape, now the minors. Fucking hell.
Unfortunately, your post very much mirrors the short time I had at Glitch as well. Everyone I interacted with was such a delight to work with, but working with Kevin was genuinely an experience that has not sat right with me after I left after 2 to 3 weeks of being... I'm not reading this shit. I don't give a fuck. You were there for 2 weeks. Fuck you. Fuck off. I don't care. I have a question for you. What about Luke? Did you hear anything about... I don't care. I just don't care. I don't care. Somebody else can pursue this. Somebody else can do this. I don't fucking care. So then, this is the old message from Kevin that was referenced in here. I just thought it would be good to bring this up because it just, I don't know, it feels correct to kind of... I'm showing more evidence than the actual Glitch Writer person is kind of what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
Interesting.
Hey y'all, Kevin, CEO of Glitch Productions here. We've been silent this past week as I've been prioritizing checking in on taking care of my internal staff, having multiple open conversations with the management and production teams, and assessing this entire situation. The last thing I wanted to do was rush out a half-assed statement as I take this entire matter very seriously. However, things have changed. Unfortunately, members of our staffing community have recently been harassed by people online, and this is something I cannot tolerate and must address immediately.
What? They call me Sonic.
Thank you for the 5 Gamma. They don't call you Sonic, they call you Gamma, buddy. Sorry. For context, people have left anonymous claims both here and elsewhere about the work standards of Glitch involving mistreatment and abuse. There are a lot of different stories and allegations out there at this point, some of which are distorting and wrongfully exaggerating the truth. So I wanted to set the record straight. I acknowledge and take full accountability that during the early years at Glitch, there was indeed a lack of experience, training, and skill on my part, and the management structure I had at the time to run and operate a small animation window. For that, I'm sorry. Years ago, my brother and I started all of this out of our bedroom with the dreams of making an animated show.
We then inevitably realized how hard making an animated show was and started to hire more artists, all of whom worked out of their house, out of our house, and spent the first few years making shows with very little infrastructure. It was quite a ramshackle studio back then, and I deeply apologize to any staff that experienced any hardship during that time due to our lack of experienced management. However, I maintain that I've always made it one of my main priorities to try and improve the management of my team, everyone's well-being, and overall scaling of the studio. I strongly assert that we've always strived to make a happy, positive workplace and a fair amount of work and reasonable deadlines and resources. I can't claim that we've succeeded 100% of the time, but it has always been our goal to make a safe, healthy place where artists can make cool shit, have fun, and feel taken care of. It's actually a large reason of why I started Glitch. Most of our staff we bring on are permanent, full-time employees here, and I have every intention to keep them on and happy. We don't kick out employees when a project or show ends here, and every time our company has seen success, we share it with the team. Since the early days, we've brought on and built a proper leadership and management team, all of whom have received training to run, manage, and look after a team. We've introduced several production coordinators and management staff to try and plan, scope, and revise episode and artist schedules better. An entire tech team has also been hired to try and improve our system so artists spend less time debugging issues like why Maya keeps crashing, and instead focus on the one thing they do best, creating beautiful art. There are claims and questions on why release dates aren't pushed back to give more artists time, but that's the thing, they absolutely are. Over the years, multiple episodes have been pushed back as I wanted to make sure they all had the proper time to ensure they're great. That's why many of our teasers and trailers have the text to the effect of, the episodes will be released when they're ready. In fact, episode 8 of Murder Drones will be delayed past the original announced spring period as it has so much amazing content in it. The production management team and I made the decision to give it more time so the artists could give it more love and not be strained. There have been some claims about myself that I blacklist people in the industry from finding work, and another stating that I'm a clout chaser who only brings on artists with a big following. I feel the latter statement greatly disrespects and discredits all the hard work the team has put in. You can come after me and say what you want, but when it comes to my team, I will speak up and defend them. They all produce amazing work and deserve everything. As for blacklisting people from finding other work, that statement is beyond ridiculous and not something I would know how to do even if I wanted to. I'm deeply sorry to any past employee that feels dissatisfied with their time at Glitch. Truly from the bottom of my heart, I am, and I will continue to do everything I can in improving the well-being and voice of this incredibly talented band of artists. One thing I will absolutely not tolerate, however, is the harassment or abuse of anyone. Please be kind to one another. We have a chance to improve the entire animation industry for the better here. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, obviously no proof shown there or anything, so I mean, take it as you will, but I don't know, seemed pretty good overall. Maybe I'm retarded and evil or something.
I don't know, man. To be fair, right, when you're dealing with a situation when the people haven't actually provided evidence and it's also testimony, I mean, the most you can really give back is testimony.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially when you're a company. This is not like commentary shit. It's not going to be like, yeah, I'm going to leak their DMs.
Also, to be absolutely clear, this was not a response to the writer, like the writer on the blog. This was this was a response to what the event that they were talking about that happened in 2024, when I suppose like Celeste was fired, and also like people were talking, like coming out and talking about like their experience with Glitch and saying it was like lackluster under their employment. So I just wanted to make that clear to any chatters who are confused.
Yeah, interesting.
So yeah, make of all of that what you will. That was our Glitch Productions has child labor and also is like evil situation.